Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
We're vans down by the river.
Let's go.
Hello and welcome to our daily show. We are not talking about vans down by the river. Oh, no. We are talking about what you are not being told about passive income. So if you want passive income, if you're interested in passive income, if you want to build passive income, then, my friends, you want to tune in. Please like, comment, and share. Share this out to anyone you know who is interested in passive income, and let us know where you're coming in from. If you don't already know who we are, we're Martin and Chelsea Matthews. We're in business together. We're married. We're the same person. And we have combined 22 years experience.
She says we're married. It's like she's trying to remind me.
Remember, we're married.
Remember.
No, but like, you know how a lot of people, they're like, oh, I couldn't work with my spouse. Yeah. So like we're in business together. We're also married together. That adds another dynamic, right?
Does,
so I want people to know, hey, we're not just in this for the money. We're not just in this for business. Oh no, we're in this for life.
We're in this for the monkey
for
business.
life. Tell me about it. Okay, so what was I talking about? Oh yeah, we're married. We're in business together. Yeah. We're also authors of this book, Let's Fight About Money, helping couples communicate about money, handle conflict, build an unbreakable financial house. And that is our mission for you, to help you build an unbreakable financial house so you can handle anything that comes your way and create the life you truly want to live. And if it includes passive income, then you want to stay tuned because we're going to be talking about what you're not being told about passive income.
So a lot of these, we have conversations with a lot of people because look, we have a financial business. We have clients in 48 states. We have a lot of high income earners, clients from very, very high income earners, wealthy people to people who are just getting started financially. And so we talk a lot about these different things with them. And a common thread comes up. Hey, we're matching wearing the same shoes.
Oh my God.
So it's I'm not wearing high heels in case anybody's wondering what the same shoes are.
He is.
So I think we're gonna take a picture.
They're pumps.
They're like Converse, but they'll have like these art prints on them.
They're wedges.
And then she's got her version of it, and I got mine. And we never planned this stuff, but we often.
I got my flats. He's got his high tops.
No, that's not what I mean.
They are high tops.
Yeah, yours is flat lines. Jeff from Brooklyn, how did I leverage your house that I own when the rates are so high for refinancing? We'll get to that. Jeff. Stay tuned. I'll answer that at the end of this. So what you're not being told about passive income is what we're going to talk about today, because a lot of people are like, hey, what are your financial goals? What do you want to achieve? A lot of times we'll get, hey, I want to get passive income. I want to build passive income. I want to get passive income. So, and people aren't sure how to go about doing it. So we're going to talk about what you're not being told about passive income and what you need to be aware of so that you can do the things you are trying to do.
So let's talk about what the heck is passive income. We always like to make sure to define the things that we're talking about so that we're all on the same page. So passive income, when we're talking about passive income, it's basically income that you don't have to actively earn. So you're not going to work. You're not physically doing the manual labor. You're not making the sales, okay? So whatever you're doing, if you go to work every day or you run a business, that is, you are actively earning that income. So this is something that, you don't have to show up for, and the money continues to come in. So some examples would be like if you have an investment real estate property and maybe you have like a property management company handling it. So you don't have to deal with the renters, they handle it. Whether you show up or not, you're making income, hopefully, if you're not upside down on the property. Another example could be like vending machines, right? You have the vending machines and now maybe you go and refill them, or maybe you have somebody, fill them for you, but people go and make purchases, they put money, you don't have to go and deliver the snacks to them physically, right? Mm-hmm. You're making income whether you show up or not.
Yeah. So, and then also dividend paying stocks that pay dividends. The dividends can be income, bonds, that make a dividend payment to you. That income would be passive to you because you're not having to actively work for that. So that's the definition of passive income. So, however, it doesn't always start off passive. There is something you would need to do to get the passive income. The vending machine. You got to go get the vending machine, set it up, do all these different things. So it doesn't start off passive, but that's what we're kicking off this what you're not being told about passive income. We're starting to talk about, first of all, what is passive income, defining it, so then we'll get to point number 2.
Trust funds, you can have passive income. Also, some retirement accounts, you can set them up so that they continue to pay you income for the rest of your life. But how do you do those things? Well, there are 2 ways. You can either buy it or build it. Okay. It's not just like, hey, I want to have passive income. And then you go start and you have passive income. No, you got to put it there. And it does not start as passive. You have to do something. And so we'll break it down. What does that mean? To build it means you need skills and expertise. So you have to know what you're doing, whether it's like a business that you build and you have to get it to the point where you have your hands off. We call it phase 2, where you have, a team in place that runs the business for you, whether you show up to the office or not, right? Or it could be real estate. You could, if you're a builder, you could build the real estate, right? And then you sell it, or you have people live there, and then you have passive income as they live there.
Yeah. So
there's some other examples.
So look, passive income doesn't just materialize, doesn't just appear out of thin air. And one thing that people don't realize is when you're like, income. Yeah, it's not going to fall from the sky and just going to rain on you. So when you start, what's up, my familia? What's up to you? So when you start looking at building passive income, you have to generally build some sort of business. Even real estate is a business, by the way. So somebody has a real estate portfolio, they had to approach that like they would a business. They had to identify the properties, buy the properties, set up a business entity that may own the property or the cash will flow through. And they had to then hire somebody who would run it, collect the rent, a property manager, whatever. They had to do all of those steps in order to get that income coming to them. So a lot of times people make it seem like it's so easy to go do it, but there's a lot of steps involved that you're not being told about. So when you're going to build something, you have to check your skills and your expertise. If you want to build passive income, what are you good at? What are you good at? What skills do you have? What expertise do you have that you can build a business or idea around in order to generate passive income from it? I think, though, passive income needs to be a longer term goal. I see a lot of people, like, they're super young. They're just getting things going, but they have in their mind, somebody gave them the data that they need to have passive income. You need to have passive income. There's another data that says you need 8 streams of income. Okay. If you can't make one stream work, how are you going to make 8 work? You understand? This is data people get and they think it sounds cool, but they don't know how to apply it because the information itself may not actually be correct. People don't start getting a bunch of different streams of income when they're broke, because what happens is you have 8 different trickles. You don't actually have streams, you have trickles. And your attention is so dispersed in 8 different areas versus putting your attention focused to build an actual stream and make it solid, that you then are able to do number 2 on here, which is buy passive income.
Number 2.
Yes, do number 2, which is buy passive income.
Yeah. So, or for example, like people might join like a multi-level marketing company where they have a product that they're selling and then they can build a team. Mm-hmm. And the idea is to build passive income. You build a team and then you have all these other people selling, right? And then, and it sounds amazing. And some of them are really great business plans and really great ideas. And some of them are great products. Some of them are crap. But you don't just sign up and buy your package or whatever and get passive income. You have to have skills and expertise. So you have to know about the product that you're selling. You also have to know how to get people to join your team. So you have to be able to train them and train them how to sell and train them how to recruit. So there is sometimes a lot of work that goes into building passive income, and people don't think about that. And that's one of the things, this is a whole nother topic that we should talk about, is multiple streams of income, because people hear this. It's so important to be able to critically think about the information that you receive. Okay, multiple streams of income, passive income sounds great, but then you have to actually break it down to, okay, like what does that take? And, you know, do I have the skills and expertise? And is that going to take me away from what I'm already doing? So you have to think through these things of how realistic is it to create this, and what do I need to do to create it?
Yeah.
So, oh God, thank you so much.
So look, the you need skills and expertise. You can't. When I ask people, what's your skills and expertise? What's your value in the marketplace? What are you going to be able to exchange for this passive income? How are you going to get it? They don't. Most of the time,
I'm really excited.
They're excited about it, but they don't have any idea. So that's your first way, is you would need to build it. When it comes to passive income, you have to build something that within that model, you have a way to monetize revenue coming to you without you then have to actively go out and earn it. That has to be built. Second thing is you need to buy it.
Number 2.
To buy it, you simply need money. So if you are broke, you don't have a lot of money, and you don't have access to capital, it's going to be very hard for you to then go buy a passive income vehicle.
You got to refer to number 1.
You got to refer to number 1. You got to go build it. So, like for example, somebody says, "Well, I want to fix my credit so that I can get some money to go and get passive income." Even if you fix your credit, even if you have excellent credit, they will look at your cash flow. If your cash flow is not strong, nobody will lend you money, because they're like, how are you going to pay us back? Nobody's trying to just give you money to go buy passive income.
And you also have some credit history.
You do. Nobody's going to just give you money to go and just buy a business unless you show you can make money. They're not going to just give you money. And I did a video on this where I explained that in America, when you don't have any money, nobody wants to lend you money. When you don't have money at all, okay, nobody wants to lend you money. When you're like dead, that's why people go to like the payday loans, all that. They're struggling. You're like, I just need a little bit of help, a little bit of money. Nobody wants to lend you the money. But if you make a little bit of money, this was fascinating to me when I first came to America. Rich people will buy their rich friends rich stuff. The guy already got 10 cars and you buy him another car. He's like, oh, great. But it's like rich people will buy other rich people rich stuff. But when you're broke, nobody's going to just buy you a free car. Like, hey, here's this Lamborghini. Here's this Maserati. Here's this, whatever. But if you're rich, your rich homies will buy that for you. It's funny. But when you start making a little bit of money, you then start getting exposed. You now are considered more credit worthy. We get calls almost every day. Hey, we saw your business Duns and Bradstreet number. We want to lend you this much money. Blah blah. We get these calls all the time. There were times where I try to go get capital and get something. You couldn't get any money because I was dead broke. So when you start thinking about I want to create passive income, and you're like, well, I want to get my credit right, you also very important, have to get your cash flow right.
Get it up and keep it up, baby.
Get your cash flow up and keep it up. So every day, that's what we're thinking about in our business. How do we get the cash flow higher and keep it higher? Not just get it up and it goes back down. The most frustrating thing to me in business is when cash flow, you have big cash flow and then shrinks back. You have ups and downs. You got to get rid of the downs so you only have ups. Okay. So you have to look at that. There's lots of businesses that you can buy that already have existing cash flow. We have some friends
who gotta have that money, man.
Gotta have that money. We have some friends who buy self-storage. They do self-storage units. They're doing phenomenal with it. But it's not just, they just sit around and the thing happens. They have to do a lot of work. Form partnerships, get together, create avenues for capital, all of that. So now they're in a position where they're shown they can operate those businesses well, to where now people are willing to give them more and more and more capital because they've shown they can do it. So from the outside, people look at that and be like, oh, that's great passive income. But they don't understand the upfront work that was done. And that's what you're not being told. And so I see people who are just getting started. Look, if you're just getting started, do not be opposed to work. Work is a great thing. Work is a gift. To be able to work, work to produce. When you produce, you feel good. You produce the end result. Work is a gift. Your ability to produce in the marketplace is a gift to you and your family and your community. Let me tell you, when immigrants to America, we come to work. We don't come to like have a good time, all that. Yeah, that's all nice. But first of all, a lot of us were escaping war, we're escaping poverty, we're escaping a lot of crap. We come to work. So as a result, we just go up, produce. One of the worst things, one of the saddest days I ever had in America, because when I came to America, I felt like I was way behind. One of the saddest days I ever had was when there was a sales, I was working at a job and they put up a sales board. And then I was the number 2 guy on the sales board. I used to alternate between number 1 and number 2. I was the number 2 guy on the sales board. And the reason that was sad to me is because I felt like I was behind everybody. Then to put up this board about how all the sales were going, and I was ahead. But me feeling like I was behind was a driver for me. You have to feel that way. So it's not like, oh, I just want to get passive income and chill. You have to look at it, think in your mind like you're behind and you have to go push to go get it. That's one of the ways you're going to build up your capital, build up your cash flow, and put yourself in a position to where you can buy you have enough capital to buy the passive income that you want.
Okay, so number 3 point about passive income, what you're not being told about passive income is to be able to have it, whether you build it or buy it, is you need to have a plan. Mm-hmm. And so you got to first know where you are. Okay, are you in a position that you could go and buy something that generates passive income now? If not, then you got to look at, okay, how am I going to build it? What's going to be my vehicle? Is it going to be a business? Is it going to be, whatever that you're going to build? So you need a plan. What am I going to build and how am I going to build it? And then what you can do, you got to put in the work, man. You got to build it. And once you get to a point where you can start getting passive income and you can step back and you don't have to be actively earning your income, then guess what? You can buy more passive income.
Yeah.
Once you build that up to passive income, you could take that passive income and then you can go buy another stream of passive income. Yeah. So you got to have a plan, because also, like Martin was talking, production is really, it's the basis of morale. It is the basis of happiness. People think that, if I just didn't have to work, if I could just retire, if I could just live on vacation, you would get bored. You would have no purpose, no fulfillment. After a while, like, sure, it's fun
cool
to,
for some time,
it's fun to, take a load off and relax and whatever. But a lifetime of that it's not fulfilling. And so then you got to look at what's next. So if you get to where you have enough passive income to be financially free, which that means you have more passive income coming in to cover than your expenses. You can cover your expenses with your passive income. Then you got to look at what's next. Mm-hmm. Because you look at some successful people that are unfulfilled, unhappy. It's because they didn't think bigger. They didn't reach for more. So you got to be looking at constantly, what is my plan? What is my target? When you get there, okay, now what? Now what? Constantly looking at what more can I do?
Absolutely. So what is up from Homerville, Georgia, Boston, Madison, Wisconsin, different places people are tuning in from. What's up, Heather? What's up, Triska? Welcome. Zara J, what is up? So Craig, what's up? Somebody asked me a question, because we're talking about having a plan.
How to leverage his home.
Yeah, he's asked about leveraging his home. I'll answer that but later. But this one, it says, there's a video we have where we talk about, sometimes we talk about people funding life insurance policies and leveraging it to buy businesses or buy real estate that cash flows. Mm-hmm. So he's asked a question, mentioned buying life insurance and borrowing against it, not borrowing from it. Well, other assets allow borrowing against it as opposed to borrowing from it. So life insurance is kind of a unique asset class in that sense, in the terms of how it allows you to store capital and then leverage it, borrow against it while your money stays in the plan and continues to earn interest. There's other things people can do, but it may not allow you to leverage it in the same way. Like, for example, somebody was talking to me about buying property and they have a 401k, And you could take a 401k loan, but you generally have to still be working at that job and have income. With the life insurance policy, they don't care if you have income or not. There's no income checks, there's no credit checks, there's none of that. There's no repayment schedule when you take a life insurance loan. It's just a different kind of asset class, and the way it's the things that are allowed to do with it versus other assets. So generally, when people have a 401k or an IRA, which sometimes they use for real estate, some people will borrow money from their 401k, which means when you have a loan against your 401k, that money that you borrowed is no longer in there earning you interest. And you have to pay that. You have to pay that back generally on a set schedule. So as you're paying it back, that money's not in there earning interest for you. So that ends up kind of shooting yourself in the foot because you're actually taking a loan from the thing versus taking a loan against it. Sometimes if you have individual stocks, you could go to a bank and you could pledge those stocks as collateral. Now, understand, to do things like this, the banks would generally require you have a high level amount of stocks. Okay, so which means you're talking about somebody who has $1 million plus portfolio, meaning they got $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, things like that. So a lot of times people will, the things you may want to do, depending on where you are financially, you may have restrictions on your ability to do them. So if somebody's trying to borrow against the stocks, they may say, look, you got to have $500,000 position or $1 million position. You got to be willing to pledge that as collateral for this, I don't know, $250,000 loan or $200,000 loan, right? So you may say, well, I don't have that kind of position in stocks. So then the bank may not meet the collateral threshold. Collateral is something you pledge to be able to secure a loan. That's the collateral. So for example, when you get a mortgage, your home is the collateral for the mortgage loan. That's why when you don't pay the loan every month, they come and they take the home from you. They kick you out the home and they take the home because that's the collateral. So if you don't pay, they seize the collateral. That's something you pledge to secure the loan. So so that's how you have to look at it. There's not a lot of assets that you can borrow against. It just comes down to what you can put up as collateral. So for example, if you have property with equity, a lot of people have built equity in their homes in the last few years. If you build equity in your home, some people, you can refinance, pull out the equity, or you can do a home equity line of credit, generally a higher interest rate because it's a line of credit. When you take a home equity line of credit, sometimes people do that to buy a business or buy other properties if they have opportunities, so that they unlock the capital or the equity that is inside of their property. So people find all kinds of different creative ways to be able to fund assets they want to buy, especially if they think they might be able to generate passive income from it, or they want to buy a business that's already generating cash flow, things like that. So it just depends on what asset that you have. Sometimes there are non-traditional lenders that will accept different types of assets. For example, Jay-Z talked about his artwork. I bought this artwork for $1 million. A couple of years later, it's now worth $2 million. A couple of few years later, it's worth $4 million. Why is Jay-Z telling you that? Because Jay-Z can go and take a loan against his artwork. Now, he will probably go to a non-traditional lender. There are lenders that will finance very high-end, that will take high-end artwork and give you a loan against that. So Jay-Z also talked about he missed out on buying a building in an area called Dumbo. And he do all this stuff he raps about in his songs. So he talked about he missed out on buying Dumbo when it first, I think for $1 million or something like that. Jay-Z, what he's saying, that artwork, that he can go and a lender will say, okay, this artwork's appreciated. This artwork is appreciated, is valued at $4 million. We can probably give you a 25 loan to value ratio on this. So that means they'll give you a $1 million loan against this piece of art because they expect that the artwork will hold its value. So you see, there's non-traditional. So when you're talking about borrowing against it, to answer the question, there's non-traditional assets that people may have that may be valuable where they can go to a non-traditional lender. But generally speaking, we're talking about high net worth individuals or a very high net worth, high net worth individuals or very valuable assets. So not to get off track here, somebody asked, what is an IUL? An IUL is an index universal life policy. It's one of the types of permanent life insurance policies that build cash. If you want to know more about that, send us a DM and I'll explain more detail to you.
So if you would like to build passive income or learn more about how you can increase your income, increase your wealth, especially in times of high inflation like we're experiencing right now, we're doing an event tomorrow. And it's how to survive and thrive in times of high inflation. And if you're wanting to build passive income, this is a very important thing to know, because as things cost more, then you're going to have to find ways to make more. And so you definitely want to take advantage of this event that we're doing. It's free. It's tomorrow. You can go to 6buildingblocks.com/inflation to get signed up for the event. 6buildingblocks.com/inflation. And if you have any questions that we haven't answered, or you have additional questions about this topic or other things financial related, please feel free to reach out. You could DM us, you can comment. Be sure to sign up for the event, 6buildingblocks.com/inflation.
Yeah, so we try to do our best to educate people, because over the years, what we've found is that one of the greatest economic crises we face is the lack of financial education. Some of it's basic, like people don't have the basics and the basics knowledge in which to think with. And also they don't understand different strategies or how to use these strategies. So Jay, hi, send me a DM so we can help you coordinate on something like that, so you understand how it all works and all that. But they may not understand the strategies. And so I like to have conversations with people, because when I have conversation with people, it's like a survey. I find out what they're thinking, what their understanding is. And we talk to lots and lots of people. And so helping people understand finances and different areas of the finances, how to make things work for them, is something we're very passionate about, and we like to help people with. Because when I came here from Africa, I was born in Liberia, West Africa. When I came here, I did not understand any of this stuff. I didn't understand any of it, right? My mother comes to America. When she came to America, she's in her 50s, 50-year-old. How does a 50-year-old now go and try to retire in the short period of time? She didn't know any of this stuff either. So I had to learn these things, because I wanted to be able to help my mother become educated. And so I learned this stuff. I also became an advisor to my mom, helped her. She retired two years ago, I think now, last year or 2 years ago, from some of the things we helped put into place. And I wanted to make sure that she understood those things. So that's why Chelsea and I want to help you increase your knowledge, so you can take more responsibility and have more control of your finances. We have a team of people that work here that help make this all run and make this all go. And educating people is very key, because number one, nobody can take away your education. When you learn something and you know how to do something, nobody can take that away from you, because now you can get a result with it. And that's our goal. So all the things we do, going live, talking about perspective, talking about personal financial development, is because when you know how to think and make better decisions, you will act better. You will be more responsible with finances for your family. And that's our goal for you. We want to live on a planet where people are more financially responsible. Okay. I don't want to be somebody who knows this stuff and the people around me don't know anything about it. That would not be ethical on my part. And by the way, this used to happen in the village. In the villages, there'll be one guy who knew how to do something, and the other people, nobody knew how to do it. And he'd be the only guy that people had to go see to get the thing done. So what we try to do is make sure we're educating people. And also we have a business here where we actually help you implement all this stuff we're teaching and talking about. So make sure to register for our webinar, our inflation, a training on how to survive and thrive in times of high inflation, 6buildingblocks.com/inflation. We will see you next time.
Thanks for